Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our take. We are your host. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Connor.
Thanks for joining us, Connor. We got a very, very exciting episode for you, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is going to be special for a couple reasons, and we'll kind of get into those. But today, we are going to give you guys our take on Paramount Picture and Universal Studios' newest film that just came out yesterday, June 9th, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. All three of us are super big fans of Transformers. Connor is probably the biggest fan. He's kind of crazy when it comes to Transformers, so that's why this video is going to be pretty fun. And what makes it even more special is that as a trio of hosts, us three, this is the first movie that all three of us experienced it in the wonderful format of 4DX. Connor was finally able to find a 4DX theater close enough to
take a fucking journey.
It was a journey.
Yeah.
It was a journey.
I was finally able to make the 3.5-hour drive out there to Seattle to fucking watch this movie in 4DX, which was totally worth it.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. We'll get into whether or not it was worth it. We'll talk about our 4DX experience and all of that. We'll do this video in very traditional fashion, spoiler-free content first, scores, and then we'll get into some spoilers. And ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna want to stay for the spoilers because there's a lot of stuff to pick through in this movie, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be animated. It's gonna be great. Before we do that, though, we're gonna let Taylor run us through the cast list so you guys know who you're dealing with as far as actors and actresses go. Taylor, take it away, brother. Who is in this movie?
So we have a lot of actors in this, a lot of voice actors, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So the star is Anthony Ramos, who plays the character of Noah. We have Peter Cullen, of course, legendary Optimus Prime.
Peter Cullen.
Yeah. We got Pete Davidson as Mirage.
Oh, that's right.
We got Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal. Michelle Yeoh as Air Razor. Tobe Wigwit. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, bro. I'm sorry.
It's Tobe Nguyen.
Whatever that is.
Nguyen.
Character is Reek. And then we got Dominique Fishback as Elena. Elena. Peter Dinklage as Scourge. And then we had Cristo Fernandez as Wheeljack.
Okay.
Michaela Rodriguez as Nightbird. Coleman Domingo as Unicron. David Sobolov as Rhinox. John DiMaggio as Stratosphere. Lauren Velez as Noah's mom. I don't really know what her name was. The little brother, Dean Scott Vasquez. And then that's it.
Sweet. Super cool to see Anthony Ramos as in this. Is he the same Anthony Ramos that is the artist? Like the music artist? Is that the same Anthony Ramos that I'm thinking of? Or am I just pulling that out of my butt? But I mean, it's really awesome. Obviously, Peter Cullen. It is, right? Yeah. The artist. Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of his music. He has a lot of really good music. Obviously, we're big fans of Peter Cullen, and Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal is really cool to see. So, we're gonna talk about those performances, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna roll right into our spoiler-free section. Real quick, gentlemen. We won't spend too much time here, but let's just give the people a general idea of how we felt about Transformers: Rise of the Beast as we saw it in 4DX. To start with you, Taylor, how did you enjoy this movie?
Do you want the movie or 4DX included, or are we separating that?
Let's just do it all together. Let's just throw it all together, and then in the spoiler section we can kind of deviate. But for now, let's just throw it all together.
So, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Fucking love Transformers.
Yes.
This movie was fucking awesome. Now, there are a few things that I was really not a fan of in this, but overall, this movie was so much fun. I fucking loved all the action in it. Story I thought was pretty good, like surprisingly good for what they were trying to do.
Okay.
Because there's new characters involved in this and stuff. Because this is like a newer Transformers,
Mm-hmm.
And I have a big love for the older ones. But this was actually pretty good. Now, as far as 40X goes, honestly, I was kind of not a fan of it with this movie.
Interesting.
So the 40X features for this movie, I thought were a little obnoxious, but the movie itself was super good.
Yeah. Okay. I enjoyed the movie a lot. Transformers is kind of one of those franchises of movies that you like. You're walking into it with your belief already suspended, right? Obviously, as far as we know it, there are no giant robots that live amongst the stars. So, you already kind of have to suspend. You already have to suspend your belief to a certain extent, and you're walking in when you watch Transformers. You're not like you're there for the fun. You're there for the action. You're there for watching these giant robots transform and do all the cool things. And this movie delivers, man. This movie delivers on the incredible action sequences. It delivers on new takes of pre-established characters that I personally enjoyed, and I'm interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on them. And it had that very unique and specific Transformers feeling to it, for me. So I really enjoyed the movie. 40X. It was fun to watch some of the people that I went with experience 40X for the first time. There were a few portions of the movie where I was like, holy crap, this is kind of like nuts. Like there was a lot of movement. I almost got thrown out of my chair. So
many times.
For like in those moments I was like, okay. And then there are other moments where there was like nothing for a little while. And so that kind of, I don't know if it bothered me, but it just, I ended up making a mental note of it, right? So I noticed it. So yeah, we can kind of talk about that more in the spoiler free or in the spoiler section. But
I'll dive more into that for sure.
But yeah, I still enjoyed it though. It's still fun. I still think it did add to the experience. In a lot of the action sequences, it helps you get even more immersed into whatever you're seeing on the screen.
For sure.
So, I still enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, it was really cool to watch. There was 3 people that I went with that were all experiencing 40X for the first time. So that aspect of it was really cool to see. Yeah. So, Connor. First time, brother. First time in a 40X movie. How did you like it?
Yeah, so this movie blew my fucking mind. I was like, freaking out the entire movie.
So funny when me and you were talking. I was like, "Oh, are you gonna watch Spider-Man in 40X?" And you're like, "No, I think the swinging is gonna be too much." And then you're like, "Oh, but I am gonna see Transformers." I was like, "You got this backwards, bro."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy.
It's fucking
there were
insane.
some parts where I was like, I'm literally on a fucking roller coaster, and I'm like,
I will say, it like the fucking action sequences, like you literally feel like you're in the fight.
Yeah,
because you're like, oh my god, you're like,
there was a couple of times where like the action has like a rapid onset and it starts really quick. So the seats like just start moving out of nowhere. Dude, I almost fell out of my seat like 3 times.
This is the first time I've seen 40X, and I literally had to like
hold on,
grip with my feet on the little swing things, and hold the armrest. Wow. I have never had to do that and there's other movies I've seen that were like really active, but this movie was like violently like active.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like I had kind of just stayed in the same position the whole movie, but it was pretty like my head was going back and forth because it was like it moved. I mean, it was like you're saying where it fucking took off, and it was like you can feel every single person transforming, and then they're shooting, and then the people are doing cartwheels and they're like flipping. Yeah, and there's explosions. People are getting hits. You're getting punched in the back at the same time. Yep. There's like air being blasted at you the entire time because all these lasers are coming at you and
flying past you and shit.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. But I absolutely
did all of those things help you get more immersed into the movie, or did it break the immersion for you?
It definitely didn't break the immersion. I don't know if I was more immersed, but it was like I was more entertained for sure. It was like I was definitely like, I mean, it was like an amazing experience where I was just like, this is fucking incredible. You know what I mean? And I'm actively, my mind is just like going, shooting out the back of my head. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, this is so insane. And it was pretty fucking awesome. It was like, you know, no matter what, I've loved every Transformers movie that's come out. I love this Transformers movie, and with or without, the 4DX, I would have loved it anyway.
Yeah,
but it definitely enhanced the experience of just like being like, it was like if I was at Universal Studios
right
in California and I was on like a Transformers ride. You know what I mean?
It's kind of crazy.
That's
because
what I imagine it being like.
Us when we were growing up, stuff like that was reserved for theme parks, right? In order to experience that kind of thing, you had to go, like for us, we had to go to the mainland and go to Disneyland.
States.
Like you had to like travel to get that kind of experience. But now, in this current day, like for us, we can drive 30 minutes. You got to drive 3.5 hours. But like we can drive, a couple towns over and be able to experience something like that. And I think that's really incredible, and I hope that we get more 4DX theaters here on Oahu.
Oh yeah.
And because I think it's it's definitely not for every movie. Like not every movie needs to be 4DX.
Yeah, for sure. But
for movies like that, and for there are a decent amount of movies that would be really cool in 4DX. And it's almost like, because Hawaii doesn't really have any kind of theme parks or any kind of stuff like that, that's like our thing. Like once a month we get to go ride a roller coaster for 2 hours essentially.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Connor,
it was fucking amazing.
Was it worth the 3.5 hour drive each way?
For me, yes. I mean, hands down, it was worth it. I don't know if it would be worth it for most people, but it was definitely like the first time I've ever experienced this thing, and it was probably the best movie experience I've ever had in my life. I mean, literally everybody in the theater was fucking freaking out. Like as soon as the 4DX turned on, everybody was like, "Wah!" It was just like everybody was.
I love that.
That
the
is
atmosphere is always so high. The energy in the theater. That
everybody
you're like
loved
excited
it.
for the movie. It's about like you're about to experience something that's like, especially like you said here,
exactly
is like just unusual, and it's hard to experience without traveling somewhere and paying a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
So whenever we go here, it's always like that. Every movie, everybody's always super excited. And
people were losing their minds, and it was amazing. People
especially
were like
when
literally
you have a new viewer, they're always like, I guess like excited but nervous at the same time because they don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, as soon as the 4DX kicked in, like they showed the trailers and the 4DX kicked in, people were just like,
this did have 4DX trailers.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones thing just blew me away. Like I was just like, oh my god! Like it was fucking crazy.
Did you have Indiana Jones 4DX?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. Maybe I did, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. I mean, it was like this movie. I just straight up is a fucking 10 out of 10 just because I saw it. I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling right into scores here.
I just have to say it. I just have to say it because like if you go see this movie without 4DX, I'm sure you'll come up with a different opinion, but
I don't know. This
for
movie's
me,
still awesome.
So yeah,
this
okay.
movie fucking blew my mind. I literally fucking my mind melted into my body and I almost shit it out my pants. It was fucking crazy. I was like,
okay, scores, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, Connor is a massive 10 out of 10, with a small asterisk that it was a 40x showing.
Yeah, look, this movie is also very flawed. There's a lot of flaws, but it was fucking amazing. I mean, it was mind blowing.
For me, ladies and gentlemen, as far as my score goes, I'll kind of do a 2-part real quick. Like, if I was judging the movie without the 40x experience, it would probably, like, realistically be like a 7 or an 8. Like,
yeah,
it's a solid movie, a lot of fun, but like you said, there definitely are some flaws, and there's some things that I was just like, I don't know about that. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of that, or that could have been done better. But as far as a Transformers movie goes, I think there could be an argument made that it was the best one ever. Like, it's a really, really solid Transformers movie. And then as far as my 40X experience goes, it combined with the fact that I got to watch other people experience it for the first time. And like you guys said, the entire theater, it's more of like a collective experience when you go see 40X instead of you sitting in a dark room full of strangers that you're not interacting with. Like, even though you don't actually talk to anybody in the room, you guys share your screams of surprise, or your gasps of sadness or whatever, because everything is just a little bit more out there, you know?
Yeah, just like a roller coaster.
Right,
when
exactly.
Somebody might be screaming next to you, and that makes it funnier for you.
Yeah, it's fun. It adds to the fun. So for that reason, I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. It bumps it up pretty high. I don't think I can give it a 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10 for sure. Super solid movie. Really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Taylor?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this an 8 because we don't do dismals. But it's a highly recommended, really fun fucking movie. And for Transformers especially, I really enjoyed this one. I still have my like bias towards the original Transformers.
Sure.
Not the last like 2.
The last
like
night
the first like 3 or 4. I forget.
Sure.
Yeah, I have to definitely say that this is not like the best Transformers movie that's come out. Live action Transformers movie, but it's like it's definitely as a 40X experience is like the best fucking
for me it
Transformers movie I've seen, because I saw it in 40X.
It goes the first one with Shia LaBeouf, that, and this movie are like pretty close for me. The first one, just because of what it meant to me as a kid, and like
I would say the first one is going to be the best one for a long time. The first Transformers movie from 2007
this movie
is
rivals
the best
it, man. This movie, like, there's some parts in there that I was losing my mind, and I was like, I wanted to like stand up and start fighting Decepticons too, man. Like, or Terracons, sorry. It was a lot of fun. So all right. So 8 out of 10 for you, Taylor. Connor, 10 out of 10, and for me, 9 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our scores. Let's move into spoilers so that we can actually talk about all the cool things that happened, all the fun things, and get into the nitty and gritty. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen this movie yet, as of today, which should be Monday for you guys, go see it. It's 100% worth watching in the theaters. It's a lot of fun. It's a pretty much all family movie. Like, maybe like super young kids might get a little scared by some of the stuff, but like it's pretty much like it's pretty family friendly. And it's just
there's a few swear words here and there, and
there's like
deaths,
some like spider, like the little spider thing was like popping out.
Yeah.
And stuff.
There's a pretty brutal death in the beginning, but you know,
yeah.
I don't know if that affects kids, but that I was like, oh shit, like, fuck.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and when it comes to Transformers, all of the like sound detail, like all the sound effects and stuff, are super important to the ambiance of of the film itself, and being able to watch it on a big screen with massive speakers all around you versus a home TV, it's a completely different experience. You're not going to get the same thing waiting for it to come to a streaming platform. So go check it out in the theaters, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch it, enjoy it, and then come back on your way home. We'll talk about spoilers all together now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to serve as your official
spoiler alert.
All right. So, Connor.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it in 4DX,
yeah,
would you have still enjoyed it as much as you did?
Yeah, I think I still would have loved it for it being a Transformers movie, but I would have given it a 7.
Okay.
Like out of 10.
What is
realistically?
It about, what is it about Transformers movies that kind of just blind you to things? Like let's be honest, The Last Knight was a horrible movie. But the fact that it's a Transformers movie makes it, that makes it better. So what is it about Transformers that does that has that effect for you?
I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's just, because of like my childhood and watching the 1986 movie or 80 I think it's 1986 movie like over and over and over, and just fucking loving Transformers. It's just, with on top of that Michael Bay and all of his like huge action and like his fucking crazy ass comedy that like doesn't make any sense, but it's just fucking hilarious because
somehow it works.
Yeah. Like it just, it's like I know I'm gonna go to the movie and just be like, this is fucking amazing, because I'm just like, so
it just brings you back to being a kid.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nostalgia, because for the Michael Bay movies, it wasn't like I was having nostalgia a lot, because I mean they were designed completely differently, and they acted very differently. They weren't the same, like Autobots and Decepticons. Like Optimus Prime was like a fucking brutal.
He was fucking
killer, basically. Savage. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was a fucking savage, which was cool. It was cool to see, like a different type of character, and I honestly didn't care, because I was just like, whatever. I fucking loved it because it was just cool. Like it's one of those franchises that that it's just gonna be a fucking dope. Like there's just gonna be a bunch of like dopamine flowing in your head from all the cool action scenes that you're seeing, because who doesn't want to see fucking giant transforming robots fight each other and like say cool shit in really cool voices and do cool moves and shoot big guns, and it's just like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like
there's something about like robots fighting each other.
There's something about giant robots fighting each other is always going to be
kind of transcends people's rationale.
Yeah, like I never need a good story to go watch a Transformers movie. I could watch The Last Knight like a million times and never get old, like because it's gonna be fucking. It's hilarious. It's so stupid, but it's fucking awesome. And like
giant robots,
like Optimus Prime cutting like 7 Decepticons heads off at one time. It's just fucking amazing. It's like, like who comes up with this shit? You know what I mean? It's
after like, he's like, I'm Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
I will never betray you again.
Yeah. I am Nemesis Prime. It's like, it's just like you have to have you have to still have kind of like the heart of a child to really just appreciate it. Like turn your brain off and just be like, this is fun. It's it's like watching a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. You know what I mean? It's like, you're gonna go watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're turtles that are ninjas and they fucking run around and beat the shit out of people, and it's just fucking fun. Who cares about the story?
Fucking rat.
Yeah, they have a giant rat that teaches them kung fu. Like, what? Like, it's just you have to throw
rationale to the wind, and you just have to be an innocent soul just enjoying the ride.
You have to just open your imagination up and just be like, yep, this is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Which this movie was. I have to say right off the bat, look, I really loved the Bumblebee movie because of the Transformer designs, because it went back to like the G1 Transformer designs, and it looked fucking hella dope. And they're starting to go back to the Michael Bay designs in this movie, and I really hope that they don't go like reverse back to what they used to look like and how they used to just have these like fucking crazy ass transformations that just took like 7 minutes because it was just you know what I mean?
I love it, but
it's cool. It's fucking cool. I loved it too. I love all the Michael Bay movies, but I just appreciated that they went in a different direction. Yeah, and I hope that they stick with it because it was really fucking. I mean, when I saw when I watched Bumblebee in 2018 and I saw the fucking Cybertron scene, it fucking blew my mind, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because like they never show that shit where they have the fucking war on Cybertron and you get to see all the Autobots and Decepticons and they're like original G1 forms and they're all fucking shooting each. It was like fucking amazing, and some of the designs in this movie, I was like kind of disappointed. I was like, "Oh man, that kind of sucks." Because
who were you disappointed in?
So Wheeljack in the Bumblebee movie, I don't know if you guys can find a picture of it to put in here, but he looks fucking hella dope. He has the blue facial plates on the side where every time he talks it like lights up. He's got like a face plate over here, so he doesn't have a mouth, and it just looks fucking really dope. You know, he looks like a transformer. I just don't like that they have to put mouths and face. You know what I mean? Like they have to make them humanized.
I liked humanoid features.
Yeah, I liked when they brought back the G1 designs that they were fucking robots and Optimus Prime just had the triangle fucking thing on his face and that was it. And he looked fucking hella dope and he was just like, oh, I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? And it's like, and his fucking eyes light up every time he's talking. And it's like, you know, it's hella cool. And they changed that for this one where they gave him a weird ass nose and his nose was fucking weird. Okay. I just gotta say it. It was like weird. It was just like, come on, just keep like when he had the faceplate on, I was like, okay, that's cool. When he took it off, I was like, put that back on. You know what I mean? But, you know, besides that, like I still like Bumblebee's design. It's pretty classic. You can't go wrong. But like my favorite Transformer in the whole movie was RC because she looked almost exactly like her G1 design.
Yeah.
And it was OG. She was the only one that actually held guns and shot them. I'm not a huge fan of like the transforming your arm into a gun. It's cool, but I really appreciate more. In the last, Bumblebee's the only one who's supposed to. Well, Bumblebee's the only one who's supposed to have the thing where he's like his arm.
Oh yeah, I know I told you about the arm cannon, but I could have swore there was somebody else with guns too besides her.
It might have been. I don't know.
Well, so
somebody had a minigun or had a
that was his arm. That was his arm.
Was his arm?
Yeah, everybody else, their guns came out of their arms. It was just like the melee weapons that they held, which was cool. It was cool that they could bring out melee weapons like that, but I just really appreciated, like in the Bumblebee movie, that all the guns were like their original Transformers gun, or they were guns. You know what I mean? And you fucking grab them. And you're
they existed outside of the Transformer body.
Okay. Right, and I get that. Like you know, I like I said, this movie is flawed and in different ways, and these are just my personal gripes with the movie.
Issues,
they may not be flaws for most people. And what I mean by flaws is like a lot of the other stuff is more of a flaw, like some of the human stuff. And
so let's talk about some of the maybe the lesser sides of the movie.
Let's just be real. They need to stop putting humans in these movies. They just need to fucking.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Elena's character. Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan.
Elena is the worst character in this entire.
I just
movie.
I don't care for the way they set her up to be like it didn't feel genuine, and it felt
no purpose in this movie.
Yeah,
I mean, neither of them needed to be there. Neither of them needed to be there the entire time.
I don't mind Noah Davis. Not Davis. It's Noah something.
Diaz.
I don't mind Noah Diaz. I actually thought, I don't know if there's any precedent to it within Transformers lore canon, but I actually thought him essentially turning into Iron Man was really cool from Mirage.
There's not. So you can't wear. There's never been like you can wear a fucking Transformer like you can't just wear an Autobot as a suit. They had these things where it was like the humans could have suits, but it was a different type of thing where they just
like
kind of
made.
Well, their arms were like, it was like they were motorcycles, so their arms like stretched out and their legs stretched out, and they were motorcycles, and they could fucking like. It was weird, but it was never like where you got an Iron Man suit and you could fly around and your arm turns into a cannon. That never happened.
Nope.
Yeah, I think within the movie and the way that they chose to go, because they decided to have have humans in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty cool. Something I'd never seen before. I didn't know if it was like canonically accurate or not, but I thought
it was a
really
cool idea. Yeah, I think
I thought the moment of him underneath Mirage and having the conversation with his brother, and then Mirage being like, "All right, well, you gotta take over from here." I thought it was a really nice moment, and it was
definitely cool.
It was a cool concept. But I do agree that like we need a purely Transformer movie. You know what I mean? Like we need like this, like what this was with like Terracons and Maximals and everything, like fighting in big wars and all this stuff, but just like nix all the human stuff. Like
I don't mind that there's humans. What I don't like is that humans seem to be the focus point of these movies more often than not. Like they're so important to the plot that they have to be in like everything.
Yeah.
Because if you subtract it all, like their main like I don't know, big scenes or whatever, or any plots derived from the human characters, they don't need to be there. But I don't mind their humans being present. Like in the battle or whatever.
Sure.
I just don't
but
need
they don't
to
need
fucking
to be
care about the main character being a human.
Well, if you think about it, outside of Noah turning like essentially morphing into a Power Ranger, Super Morph, Mighty Morph kind of thing with Mirage, outside of that, neither of them actually really affect the story, because in the beginning when they're both at the museum, they don't actually do anything because Scourge ends up with the half of the transmat key anyway, so they don't actually do anything. And they were supposed to. It was supposed to be Noah going in undercover so that they didn't draw any attention to the fact that there's giant robots fighting.
Yeah, but it didn't matter anyway.
But it didn't matter because they ended up having this giant battle at the museum anyway. Right.
Yeah.
And then when
Terracons
they went
would have gone there anyway and blown up the fucking thing to get the key anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And then Prime made a big deal about that. He was like, we should have never sent him in there in the first place. I should have just gone myself and B wouldn't have been dead or whatever. And he made this whole big thing about it. But then they go to Peru and they do the same exact thing. They go to Peru and instead of just being like, you know what, the fate of the universe is at hand, let's just go and get this over with and take care of it ourselves. They're like, okay, yeah. And Prime is even like, that's not a bad idea. And I was just like, 5 minutes ago, you were like, I don't want anything to do with you. You're stupid. Go away from me.
Yeah. But see, this is why you have to like... Yeah, but this is why you have to like turn off your brain when you watch
I know.
I know. I'm just saying that like, that's why if you really think about it, the human aspect of this movie really doesn't need to fucking be there.
Yeah, they didn't do anything because they didn't do anything in Peru.
Stupidity to the story, and
they never found the second half. And then at the end, when Elena was supposed to turn off the portal thing, she ended up not turning it off anyway.
Yeah.
It
was super redundant, and I think Taylor hit it directly on the head because I had this exact same conversation with Dietrich when we were coming back from the fucking theater, and you said it perfectly. It's the fact that the story of Transformers revolves around humans. The humans are the sun, and the Transformers are all the planets around it.
Yeah,
and I feel like it just brings down the Transformers movies from just being like completely like just awesome dumb movies that are just fucking amazing all the time, because you have to deal with these like it's so centrally focused on humans.
Yeah, and the human role is so critical that without it the story falls apart. Or when it shouldn't be that. It should be. It's a Transformers movie.
It's like a fucking crime for because this is not unique to Transformers, right? Sure. Monster movies have the same problem. When I fucking watch Godzilla or King Kong, I don't give a shit about the people. I just want to work about the fucking giant titans.
Yeah.
But Transformers, it's even worse. Because everything that a human can give in a movie, like being present as a character in a movie, the Transformers can do that themselves.
Yeah, they have their own personalities. Exactly. Yeah. They can have.
So you could have people in there, and they're just like side background bullshit, and that's fine.
Yeah, or just
but
put a bunch of army dudes in
and
the
everything
background.
you want to add, which is usually the excuse to add human characters, you can do with a Transformer.
Yeah,
they're not just a monster.
You're not
Even
wrong.
with monsters, you can do that. It's just a little bit more difficult. But Transformers, it's easy. They're literally alien robots. They have all the same emotions. They can think. They're their own. They have their own intelligence, their own world, their own culture. Like, you don't need humans. They are the characters.
So Michael Bay. Let's get a purely Transformers movie.
Well, Michael Bay's not directing them anymore.
No,
he's just producer. He's just co-producer on it.
No, it's okay.
So
I want Michael Bay to do it.
He was fired. He was fired from director.
It's okay. I want Michael Bay to do it because as much as explosions that were in this, I need more.
And I do want to say this too. This movie, it tries to do what Michael Bay did in the original movies, but worse. Anthony Ramos does his character actually surprisingly well with his dynamics with him and his family, or his brother specifically and stuff, and Mirage, which is great because it's nice to not be, it's not Bumblebee anymore.
Right.
Because we don't need his story and stuff.
Yeah, we already know. It's great. Yeah.
We love him. So it was cool to see a different version with Mirage, but Shia LaBeouf did this character way better. Not only that, he actually connected to the fucking Transformers themselves a lot more. Because like you said, they have no reason to be there.
Right.
Like, they really try to give you reasons for them to understand why they're there, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It is a shame. And Dietrich pointed this out too. It would be like if you had a Justice League movie, but the entire movie revolved around random human beings, and the Justice League was just kind of like around them.
Yeah.
Like, why would you go see that movie?
You're right. You guys are 100% right.
I would rather just go see a Justice League movie with the Justice League. I don't give a shit about fucking random humans.
Yeah, you don't give a shit about the random human
James
technician that
Game of Thrones Amazonian show.
Oh God.
Like basically it'd be like if we watched the Justice League movie, but Alfred was like the most critical role in the movie.
It would just be like the Justice League movie, but it's all about like Lois Lane and Jimmy
and Alfred and all those people being and they were the ones that without them the day couldn't have been saved.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, to like a tiny extent,
but the focus. We're talking about the focus here.
Or it could have, but if we're gonna resemble it to this movie, it would have just been like three random people that were off the street that they were just like
brothers.
Yeah, they just like, oh, you're Jack. Richard, you got what do you know where the thing is in Peru? Okay, Justice League, let's go. Oh, Jack, we need you to do all this stuff, and we'll kind of just hang in the background.
What was with like, why did they need Elena?
Like, I don't know, bro.
You're telling me that like they're like the Terracons can track what you just tracked. It's like, okay, if the Terracons have the ability to track it, why can't you track it?
Yeah, no, the human part of this it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't stand up.
It doesn't stand up.
Yeah, when you think about it, it really doesn't make any sense that they were even there, because everything that they did could have just been done by the Transformers, or it was just negated by something that was done 5 minutes after.
No, it was negated. It was negated by the Transformers.
Yeah.
Everything, every mission or every critical thing that the two main human leads were supposed to do in the movie ended up getting done or like reversely affected by Transformers.
Yeah, but they obviously are not going to take the humans out of Transformers anytime soon.
No,
because
that's Hollywood. Hey, I asked for it, Michael Bay. Give me a movie where it's just a bunch of Transformers fighting each other in a like Beyblade arena. That's what I want.
Just give us a Cybertron movie. Just give us a Cybertron war movie where they're all fighting on Cybertron. Yeah. And that would be fucking perfect.
That'd be awesome.
I could watch that movie for like 11 hours and I wouldn't care. It'd be fucking amazing. I
100% agree with you, but let's move on to something, because I have some questions, and they're questions that maybe you guys can answer because you're probably more knowledgeable on the actual canon and lore of Transformers. So, as far as I understand it, this movie is supposed to connect to both the Bumblebee standalone movie as well as the original 5 movies that there were. Correct?
Yes. So the Bumblebee movie is the start of a prequel series from the owner of Paramount himself. Well, okay. So there's actually a lot of debate on whether or not this is a prequel series or a reboot because it's not specifically stated whether or not
reboot,
this.
Bro.
Well, so that's my question because
there was an interview. Yeah, there's an interview with the head of Paramount who basically said like, this is a prequel to the Michael Bay series of movies. It's just taking place back in time, and he was basically like, to everybody who's gonna say like, well, that doesn't make any sense in the canon because they arrived on Earth in the fucking first 2007 movie. He was like, well, what's to say that they didn't come to Earth multiple times and then leave and then come back?
Right.
Is basically what he said.
Which is a dumb way of explaining it away. But so my question is that in this movie, in Rise of the Beast, they make direct references to the Bumblebee movie, right? They make direct references to that, so it's obviously connected to that. It's the same Bumblebee from that movie.
Yeah, it's a sequel to the Bumblebee movie.
But where's the connection to like I can't.
There is none.
Is it like as of right now? There's no. Yeah, there's none yet. But it's per the guy who runs the entire thing.
I don't give a fuck that jackass says.
He says zero that it is a prequel
to
series.
Michael Bay's Transformers.
I don't understand how
it's a prequel series to the Michael Bay. So apparently, like he said, there have been multiple times where the Transformers have come to Earth, left, come back to Earth, left, come back to Earth.
So that's
basically what he says.
Believable to me to a certain extent. If in this movie, at the end of the movie, when the whole portal thing was happening, they actually used the transmat key to send everybody back to Cybertron. Like that's what I was expecting to happen. I was expecting the end of this movie to be, we defeat Scourge and everybody, and we block Unicron from coming into our atmosphere, and then also we end up being able to use the transmat key to send Optimus Prime and everybody home, so that they can come back canonically during the Michael Bay series.
Right, but so what you don't understand is that this is not the last movie before the Michael Bay series. This is a trilogy of movies that they're going to do. This is the first of a new trilogy that they are doing on the Beast Wars, and integrating another franchise that I won't talk about. But it's going to be these two franchises in tandem, and that's going to be the trilogy prequel.
Okay,
and after that, it's supposed to connect to the Michael Bay.
It's not happening,
movies.
Bro. Everything that happens in this movie literally already fucks with what happens in Michael Bay's movies.
So they don't explain it, but yes, there is a lot of time travel happening in this movie. The Maximals are actually from the future.
Right.
They are from...
they talk about how they're like they're from their past and their future somehow.
Well, so yes, so they in the first scene in the movie, when they're on the Maximal home planet, and Unicron comes to destroy it, that is like 300 years in the future after Optimus Prime.
So the transmat key opens portals not just in space, but also time.
In time. So when they use the transmat key, so they don't explain this, but this is what I just theorize happened because of what they say in the movie. Is when they use the transmat key, they got shot into space through a portal in space and time, was sent back in time to Earth in the like early civilization, like BC days, right? Which is before Optimus Prime.
Right.
And then, so not only are they from the future, but they're also from the past of Optimus Prime because they know of Optimus Prime already.
Right.
They know of Primus, who's before Optimus Prime, and well, Scourge knows of Primus. I don't know if Scourge is from the future or the past. It's kind of, I'm assuming he's also from the future, but it seems like he's like super ancient. So I don't know. But the Maximals are from the future, and they get sent back in time, and now they're here in the 1990s or whatever. I think it's 1991.
Isn't there a
94?
94.
94.
Isn't there canon within the Transformers story that Earth is Unicron?
No. So Unicron is a no. Earth is a separate thing. So the Michael Bay movies kind of just make whatever up, which is fine. They're still super fun. I don't care. But Unicron being Earth was not a thing. Unicron is his own thing. Earth is like a different being that's like the opposite of Unicron.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be like, I don't remember what it's like. It's
a
female. I don't remember what her name is, but she's just like she like creates life instead of
taking it.
Right, instead of eating planets. Okay. So yeah, Unicron's always been like his own separate thing. The time travel thing is weird. I don't super understand it because they didn't explain it at all.
They don't give any information on it. It's all left to assumption.
Yeah, so you just have to kind of like piece it together yourself and be like, I think this.
I didn't really care. I'm not gonna lie. After the beginning, when they tried to do the whole like time travel or the whole travel in general thing, once the action started, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna push all that out of my brain and I'm just gonna enjoy the fight scenes.
It doesn't really matter. It's like you get the Beast. If you're a fan of Beast Wars and you watched the TV show when you were a kid, then you're probably gonna love this because Optimus Primal's fucking awesome.
Dude, all of them were fucking amazing. Yeah. Every single Maximal was insane.
Yeah, the Maximals themselves are super badass.
The final battle, when
he's like maximized.
First, wait. First, it was super cool when him and Optimus were like, Maximals, Autobots, roll out.
It was even cooler when they're running and Optimus Primal is like, Maximals, maximize.
Yeah.
So cool.
They look so jacked.
Oh my God.
So if you watch the Beast Wars TV show,
I have plenty of times.
That they obviously have the classic line, and that shit it's always awesome. Yeah. And the fucking Terracons were super cool. I love.
They looked super
Scourge was badass as hell.
Scourge was super awesome. I think what was the other one? Nightwing.
Nightwing,
the Katana one.
Yeah, the Katana one.
It's kind of confusing just a little bit because, like in her humanoid form, she could fly. But then she transformed into a car. It was just like, I mean, it's kind of
but they're cool like that. I mean, Terracons don't give a fuck.
But she also turned into an amazing car, which like really gets undershadowed. And I was actually hoping that they would key in on it a little bit more because she turns into an R34 Skyline that's like Mad Maxed out, and it looks sick as hell, and you barely get to see it throughout the movie. And when I saw her transform into it when they're like driving through the Peru highway and chasing after each other, I was like, oh my God, that's an R34. And then they like barely show it after that. I was like, God.
It's great because it's nice to not see your stereotypical fucking muscle car or generic fucking European sports car, with the Porsche and stuff. Or like a Jaguar.
It was cool. They had a lot of really cool transformations, and I think like I love that
Ducati.
I love that they kept the Terracons like closer to the show and like the Beast Wars show, and that they were kind of like Insecticons, and they were just like big bugs. It was cool, and I really liked Unicron. I thought they did like a fucking amazing job on how Unicron looked, and like he looks almost.
So Unicron is not gone, right? Unicron was just cut off from coming to Earth.
Yeah. So supposedly that's supposed to be the big
bad
of the trilogy, that he's going to come back, and all of the combined good forces of Earth will have to fight Unicron at the end battle.
He's about to get fucking
and that may not. They may
Optimus Prime, dog. He's gonna like Superman jump from Earth and just
the Iron Giant is gonna come out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So supposedly it's gonna be not just Transformers.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to that, because we're gonna save that for the end, because I want to ask you guys.
Well, no, there's different things. There's also other things.
Yeah, let's save that there.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite part of the movie? And I'm willing to go first to give you guys some time about it because for me it was perfectly clear. I don't care about like the movie of story effects that it has, or if it was canonically correct, or like if it made sense or any of that. But I'll tell you what, when that plane transformer flies into the battle and he opens up his back and Bumblebee is revived and jumps out into the battlefield to LL Cool J's Mama That Said Knock You Out, I literally stood up in the chair and was like, yeah! And I rapped that whole song with LL Cool J, watching Bumblebee fly into battle and just absolutely wreck shit. And it was the coolest part of the movie by far for me. I fucking loved it. I don't care if it's cheesy or dumb because he shouldn't have died or whatever. I don't care about any of that. Yeah. In that moment, I was like, this is fucking amazing.
That was great.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene was fucking awesome. And I have to say, yeah, I mean, it was fucking amazing. The entire end fight scene was fucking amazing. Yes. I just wish the giant plane guy came in and started fighting everybody. Yeah, he was like 4 times the size of everybody. He was like a gigantic dude.
Drop off Bumblebee,
bro. Like Bumblebee went in there, and I was expecting the plane guy to like back him up, but he was just like, "No."
He's just like, "Nah, it hasn't gotten to the point where I need to intervene yet."
Yeah, you know what they should have did? They should have, instead of, I mean, he was super cool. I fucking love his design and stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for his age and stuff.
Sure.
That he's that plane. But they should have just made him a fucking
AC-130, dude.
Yeah.
Bring the rain. In the sky. Just that's a Michael Bay thing, I guess. So
guarantee.
Yeah. But I mean,
Connor, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Oh, the whole final battle was like
the whole
part of the movie. The whole final battle was fucking amazing. I mean, it was the coolest part of the entire movie.
When Optimus Primal smashes the Terracon's head in with the ball, like
this shit was funny,
dude. The like emotion after his first, like, you know, usually you just smash one, but he's just like bah, 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 bah. I was like, oh, dude, like, chill out a little bit, man.
Yeah, dude, Optimus Primal was a fucking beast in this movie. It was amazing when he maximized and transformed into his human form. That it looked like the one from Beast Wars. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking like they kept it original, and I was like, that's fucking tight. He's got the hammer. It was fucking awesome. Yeah. The fucking Cheetar was amazing. Like I said, I loved RC in the movie because her fucking design was just hella slick.
Yeah, she looked really good.
Yeah,
I just wish they would have used her, like all of the things that the humans did in this movie. She could have replaced all of the human functions.
She's basically almost the same size.
Well, no, but I mean she's like super smart. Like she's like, oh yeah, she can like hack shit and stuff. And like when she was like, oh, I don't know where the other like half of the thing is, but the Terracons can track it. I was like, why can't you track it? Like you're supposed to be the brains of this operation. Yeah. Like what are you?
It's about Air Razor.
No. RC,
the Ducati. The one that says that she doesn't.
No, the Ducati.
Well, I know that's.
Oh
RC,
no! What I'm saying is,
say that
in that moment when they're all like, and then Elena's like, "Oh, I know where the other half is. It's in Peru, and like I did all this research on how to get it." And RC was just like, "Oh yeah, we need you." It's like, why though?
RC could have just been like, "Okay, I'll take your research. Bye bye."
Yeah, I have a direct port to all of the internet and everything in my head. Yeah. Like, I got it from here, girl. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was
well, not these Transformers. Michael Bay Transformers did have that connection. These Transformers don't.
Yeah, it was kind of I will say it was kind of surprising on how like small the team was. Like, I really expected there to be at least more Maximals. I was like, damn, dude, there's only fucking 3 Maximals by the end of this thing. Yeah. It's like, fuck, dude.
Well, you guys are question though, do you guys think that Night Razor or is it Night Razor? Yeah,
Air Razor.
Air Razor.
Air Razor.
Do you think she's dead? Do you think she's gone?
She's dead. She's hella dead, dude. because the Scourge thing like totally fucks you up. Like that's not curable.
Okay, I mean I don't know
that, and
but because there's
absolutely just
crushed her, yeah.
Fucking core.
But I mean, B got a fucking sword through his chest and was brought.
Yeah,
back
but he got saved by magical.
But she was dead at that time, so that's what I'm seeing. It's like during that.
But her soul. Yeah, but her soul was already dead. Yeah. Her soul was already dead before she was killed. I mean, she was like basically taken over by Scourge.
I was just wondering because I could totally see them being like, "Oh, where Optimus Primal killed her happened to be another huge energon deposit."
Obviously, they can do any kind of stupid shit.
They can just bring her back whenever. It doesn't matter. Like they can just do whatever they want.
I'm not gonna complain because she was badass as hell.
She was
cool.
She was basically like an eagle dragon. Metal thing
that shot lightning out of her fucking mouth. It was pretty dope.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I just wish there was more. I was just like, man, I wish there was more Maximals.
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be more.
Yeah, I hope.
I mean, it is the Beast Wars, so
yeah, I hope so because I mean, there's a lot, and I was like, damn, there's only fucking 3. Like, I hope you guys are okay. Like,
I feel the same about like just Transformers in general. Like, you only really see like a handful of them at a time.
Well, it's because they have to keep their numbers small, otherwise it wouldn't make sense within the human-focused world that these movies take place in.
That's why you just take the fucking humans out.
That's like another downside of the humans.
Just, from the story, take them out.
Yeah, let's just wipe them from background. And just
like, you know how many Transformers there were in the fucking Cybertron scene from Bumblebee? It was insane. It was like a fucking million. It was like there's a million Transformers, but all the main Transformers from the series were there. It was like Wheeljack, fucking Ironhide, Bumblebee, RC, Optimus Prime was there, fucking Mirage was there, the other dude that got shot that kind of looks like a dome. I don't know who he is.
Who was the guy that got shit on by Megatron? Literally just
Starscream?
Jazz, bro.
Oh, Jazz.
Fucking his lieutenant.
Oh, yeah. Ripped it. You want a piece of me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Jazz was in there.
Two.
Even the Decepticons, dude, it was like you get fucking Shockwave, Soundwave, Starscream,
Barricade.
Fucking, Jetstream, or whatever the fucking guy's name is.
Starscream?
Well, there's Starscream too.
Oh,
there's another
but
one.
the three, he has like 3 like bodyguards that are always with him
dudes.
or whatever.
The lieutenants.
Yeah, like the 3, it's always like wing, like something wing. But it was fucking sweet. I was just like, man, I hope that in the future movies they do like they go more into the Transformers part.
I hope so too. Taylor, what was your favorite part? Was your favorite part of the final battle scene too?
Honestly, yeah, just the final battle. Yeah. If I had to pick a single moment, I do really love Bumblebee's entrance, but I was waiting for that the whole movie, so it was satisfying.
Yeah,
but they set that shit up like super early.
Well, they also showed part of that in the trailer, so if you were like I have this weird thing where when I'm watching movies, I remember what was in the trailer, and if I don't see it yet, I'm like, oh, well, this is still coming. So I knew that.
Yeah,
I still had to see that scene from Bumblebee when he's spinning and shooting the things in the air. So I knew it was coming, but I don't care, man. That fucking scene was like top three Transformer scenes of all time for me.
No, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Especially in 40X, it was just like
super satisfying. I'm also not like a hardcore Bumblebee fan.
Sure.
Like Bumblebee's great, but because he's not like he's like overrated to me. Of like,
it's probably just overused. Yeah,
it really is.
I'm not a huge. I'm not a hardcore Bumblebee fan either.
But like, he's cool, and I like his his personality and stuff, and he's great. But I'm not like that. That diehard of a fan.
Yeah.
But
honestly, in this movie, I loved the
fucking
I loved the Maximals a lot more.
Was just my favorite.
Yeah, especially
because the whole time I'm like, dude, okay, they look awesome in their fucking
animal forms
when they're in like hiding form, but the whole time I'm just like, bro, fucking transform, come on,
do it.
Yeah, the Maximals in this movie were like the dopest Transformers by far.
Yeah,
they were fucking badass,
dude. That was a really big moment for me too, because me and my brother John, we've watched the Beast Wars TV show a lot throughout our childhood. Like for John specifically, Like he grew up on the original Michael Bay Transformers movies as well, like I did. But for him, it was Beast Wars. Beast Wars was what got him into Transformers super heavily. So when he was sitting in front of me during the movie, and when Optimus Primal yelled out, Maximals maximize, John's a big dude, so John jumped up and stuck his hands up like this, and he's like, yeah, and I was like, John, I can't see, man, put your hands down. He's a massive dude, yeah. But
it was a fucking it was an
awesome moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the future of this this trilogy to be, because there's a lot of things from the movie itself that give us, but I know that there's also some stuff that has been said outside of the movie that may come into play, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a very specific scene of the movie. It comes at the end of the movie after the whole thing happens, the day is saved, everything returns back to quote unquote normal. And our main character, Noah Diaz, he is trying to get a job interview, or he's trying to get a job. So he's at a job interview for a security position.
Wannabe Sam Witwicky.
Yeah. He's trying to get a job as a security guard at this packaging plant or whatever it is. So he gets sent to the back and he talks to somebody that is very familiar once you find out the big reveal. But he's talking to somebody, and the conversation evolves into the person that he's being interviewed by essentially showing Noah that he knows about everything that happened in Peru with the Terracons and the Maximals and all of that stuff. And so obviously he's trying to defend himself and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm part of a secret government agency that just knows everything. So in my head, I thought a very specific thing. And I even said it out loud. And because as far as Transformers goes, I feel like Sector 7 kind of goes
when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's Sector
right?
7.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, cool. We're getting to see a little bit of Sector 7 origins here, which is cool. I was like, awesome. That's awesome. Wasn't Sector 7, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the movie, as they're the final scene, the guy is like, hey, if you want to come be a part of this team, let me know. Here's my info. And yeah.
Yo, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, G.I. Joe now exists within the same world as Transformers.
Well, okay, so yeah, so they are already in the same universe.
As far as I understand, and the research the limited research I've done on it, there is no intrinsic canonical precedence to this. This is a Hasbro thing.
Well, there's been a lot of back in the 80s, there was a huge comic book run between Transformers and the G.I. Joes.
Huh.
There's been a lot of somehow. There's been a lot of G.I. Joe Transformers crossovers. And not only G.I. Joes, but other
other IPs owned by Hasbro.
Yeah, I mean it's transferred hands through the years, but not only G.I. Joe, but other The Mask. Like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah.
Originally, hold on, let me bring it up. But yeah, so G.I. Joe has been a part of Transformers before. Not in film, but in their comic book series, they have basically it's already been established that they have shared the same universe and are in the same universe in the comics.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, limited research, so I'm glad that you brought it up.
It's a very specific thing though, because in the cartoons they are completely separate.
No, in any sort of film part, they haven't collaborated.
Right. Okay. So this is the equivalent of what is it? Street Fighter Capcom? No, not Capcom.
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
It's like
Capcom
when they do Marvel. Capcom Marvel.
Oh, there you go, Marvel. And so it's kind of like that where it is or has existed and it's a collaboration, but it's not like originally from like the base like source
Canonical
story.
There's source material.
It was just something that they have done additionally before.
Okay.
Well, so it is they made it canonical to the comic series of Transformers, that they share the same universe in the comics. It has been made canonical since the last time that, or the run came to an end in 2016, where they brought together not just G.I. Joe and Transformers, but also the Mask, Action Man, Micronauts, and ROM.
So at this point, I'm guessing all of these IPs are owned by Hasbro.
They are, yeah. And in 2016, they had this ultra like comic event where they basically all teamed up together to fight Unicron when he came back to destroy Earth.
Interesting. It's going to be very, very hard for me to accept that G.I. Joe and Transformers exist within the same universe if they try to like perpetuate the current G.I. Joe that we know.
This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, it's not going to be. They've already stated in interviews
that it's not
this movie.
Channing Tatum and the Rock's.
No, it's not that G.I. Joe.
Okay.
They're going for like
the original G.I. Joe. He came in later.
Yeah, they're the original.
But I mean,
movie,
like as far as cinematically,
yeah,
cinematically,
the live action films.
Yeah, what we know
that's
is
not the G.I. Joes.
Okay.
But yeah, since 1986, G.I. Joe and Transformers. The 1986 G.I. Joe and Transformers was the first of many crossovers between the two franchises.
Okay, sweet. I'm glad there is some precedence to it, because I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I wholeheartedly expect was like, oh, it's Sector 7, cool. Flips over the business card, G.I. Joe. What?
Yeah.
I have one.
Dietrich and I both looked at each other and we were like, "What the fuck?"
I'm excited, but I'm also confused because there's a lot of issues with combining those two things. Yeah. But I just hated the fact that it said G.I. Joe.
Oh, it should have just been a logo.
It should just be the logo.
Yeah.
Honestly, the card shouldn't even exist, and there should have been something else with the logo on it.
Yeah.
The fact that guy, I can't even remember his name, but he's basically acting like a recruiter.
Right.
Is weird to me. I'm super excited to see what happens. However, the G.I. Joe movies, as much as I fucking kind of the same way, I like them a lot for what they are. At least some of them.
Nah.
The original G.I. Joe movie was actually really good.
You're talking about which one? Which one? The first of like the more recent cinematic ones?
The first of the Channing Tatum ones.
So like the first Channing Tatum.
The Channing Tatum one.
When he gets recruited into the G.I. Joe.
That one was really good. After that, it kind of stopped being G.I. Joe and started turning into like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
With like ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
But in order for them to do this collaboration, I need them to do a really good like reboot of G.I. Joe. Because I love G.I. Joe.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not happening. They've stated they are not making a separate G.I. Joe movie. The next movies will just be the next installments of Transformers integrated with G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe will be integrated into the movies.
Sucks. Which is super surprising to me, because I guarantee you people would go watch it. I guarantee you if they did make a standalone G.I. Joe movie that was meant to be the explanation of their like not origins per se, but just where they fall within the universe that they just created between the two, I guarantee you people will go watch it. Because that's just like what people like right now. They like all of this interconnected movies and overarching storylines.
So I'll read you guys the interview from the producer, Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, who's the producer of like the entire the next entire trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying Producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, I hope I'm saying your name right, has hinted we'll see more of the Joes in the next Transformers sequel, but that Paramount is only beginning to map out what's next for both franchises. We don't know what the next mission is in a way. Bonaventura told IGN, "We do this differently, I think, than a lot of franchises. Is we purposely don't plan the next movie until we see this movie play with audiences, so that you can feel the audience. Look, when you introduce the concept of it, what if it had fallen flat? Then what? So we wait to see. For now, Bonaventura makes it clear the focus is on integrating G.I. Joe characters into the next Transformers movie rather than following the MonsterVerse approach of building up each franchise individually and laying the foundation for later crossover."
I wonder if that'll change once they see the box office numbers slash people's opinions.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Like, for him to say that, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's respectable. But you don't have a choice.
Yeah, because your studio, they're going to be like, hey, a lot of people thought it was really cool that we're integrating G.I. Joe. Obviously, the whole, like he said, Monster World thing where you build up each of the franchises and then culminate has worked in the past. It's a sustainable recipe. Let's do that so we can maximize the amount of money we can make off of it.
Yeah, but as of right now, they're saying that's not what they're gonna do, and they're gonna just. He's saying that they're not gonna follow the MonsterVerse approach of building up each franchise individually. They're just gonna integrate the G.I. Joe characters into the next Transformers movie. He's like, I never really know what people mean by a crossover.
I don't know.
What I'll describe it's a Transformers movie that will employ Joes, and so it will be a continuation of this movie. It'll be a sequel to this movie, and we'll see how much of the Joes fit naturally into it.
I don't know. I don't know where I feel on this. Like, I don't know if I like that or if I'd rather see a Joe movie first.
Yeah,
one, it's gonna feel weird combining the Joes with Transformers in general, just because they're two entirely different things.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they can be like peacekeeping and that
secret
kind of
society kind of thing,
but that's basically where it stops.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it could be really cool, and I think if they do it right, like, my hope for it is that is what makes the human element of these movies good. That it's cool G.I. Joes that are you're now following instead of just random ass fucking.
I get that, and that's what I liked about Michael Bay's films. Whereas the only thing they try to do in this movie is they say, "Oh, I was a fucking private in the U.S. Army. Congrats, you fucking boot. Who cares?" In Michael Bay's film, we had fucking Green Berets, PJs, all these spec ops motherfuckers that are actually trained to do this kind of shit, that make it look really cool, train with the Autobots, and make it believable.
Right.
They have a division created for this, and it was awesome.
To mesh the two.
Right. Now, G.I. Joe can do the same thing. The only reason why I hate that it's not getting its own movie is because the old G.I. Joe movies, as in like the live action ones, I feel like never did justice to G.I. Joe.
No, they didn't.
At all.
They didn't do justice
like,
to
it was fun movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like G.I. Joe as a show, like it's really patriotic. And like, it was literally born at a time where people fucking loved their country, loved all their like service members, and did all these cool things. Yeah. And it's supposed to be this
didn't even
over
do
the top
justice to the fucking characters of G.I. Joe. I mean, Cobra Commander was like a fucking joke.
Exactly. He's a joke. And why? Dude, he's so fucking cool.
Yeah. Which is why I think
that
if they do it right and they stick with how they've been doing from like the Bumblebee movie, where they kind of went back to the first iteration of the Transformers themselves, with G1 and everything. And if they do that with the G.I. Joes, and they go with like G1 G.I. Joes and like Cobra Commander, and he teams up with fucking the Decepticons and Megatron or whatever, like, that could be really fucking cool. You know what I mean? If they do it, if they do it correctly, if they do it good, like the show.
I don't know how that plays out with.
Do you think that the whole Noah Diaz merging with Mirage to create a Iron Man type
That's
suit.
that's what I was saying earlier. That's why they had that in there.
G.I. Joe.
That was in there 100% to kind of get
set a precedent for when the Joes mesh in.
But see, the problem with that is that was the worst fucking thing about G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that
when they fucking brought that shit in there, that's fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, they didn't need that. But in the comic crossovers, it does like it did happen a lot where they, the Autobots team up with the Joes, and then the Decepticons team up with the fucking Cobra Commander. Yeah, Cobra Commander, and that's how they have conflict. Yeah. And obviously, I'm sure that Megatron,
because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
Yeah, but see,
I'm sure they're gonna betray one another. But
that existing is purely like fan service. That shouldn't actually exist. It's fucking ridiculous to have. Why the fuck would Decepticons give a fuck about Cobras, bro?
Yeah,
they're a bunch of losers compared to them. They will literally just step on them and they're dead.
Inferior bugs.
Yeah,
Megatron would be like.
And the same thing with the Autobots. Now, the difference is Autobots care for humans or learn to care for humans, and they appreciate the relationships and stuff. So it makes sense for them to, be with Joes in that sense. But why?
Yeah, I don't know. Last thing that I wanted to kind of bring up and talk about just real briefly before we wrap up this episode was I talked about it a little bit in the spoiler-free section, was the somewhat unique take on a few of the characters. For me, the biggest and most obvious was Optimus Prime, right? Optimus Prime in this movie was not the Optimus Prime we know from like Michael Bay's series, right? And I think for some people might kind of be a little off-putting, because like in Michael Bay's series, like my Optimus Prime is just like all just like super gentle towards human and stuff character, right? And I personally really appreciated a different look at Optimus Prime as it relates to the period that it took place within the overarching story. So I just wanted to point out that I thought it was cool, and it was a refreshing take on Optimus Prime. It didn't diminish his badassery at all. In fact, it probably elevated it just a little bit in certain situations.
Not in that sense, but he's not nearly as cool as he was in Michael Bay's films.
No, I mean he's not taking Jetfire's
that's a more
all of Jetfire's stuff on, and But my point is just the character design, right? The fact that he was very stark towards Noah Diaz in the beginning, and like he was not nice really, and he was not really nice to the Autobots either. That like he was kind of harsh towards them, and he was just very much a militant leader for this small band of this small like platoon or whatever you want to call it of Autobots that he was in charge of. So it was just a refreshing take on it.
It was cool, but even the characters themselves say it's like weird that he doesn't act like he was like portrayed back in Cybertron.
Are you talking about RC's conversation with Elena about how like she's like, oh,
well, I think
I don't see him as a militant leader. I see him as a big brother trying to protect his family.
No, whatever. I'm talking about the Maximals talking about Optimus.
Oh, right, because
he's like, Prime, it's not the Optimus Prime I know.
I know,
right?
Yeah, right. But I think that just reflects on like
the time travel.
I think paradox. It more reflects on like the what the like how long of the time of isolation like has had an effect on him. Like it's been like 7 years
isolation since. If apparently it's connected to Michael Bay's films and they go back and forth.
Well, what I mean,
but it's been 7 years since the Bumblebee thing. He's like most of the Autobots are fucking dead.
And they're just hiding.
He has no idea what's going on Cybertron. I mean, the whole war could be fucking over already. He doesn't even know. Like, I think it's just the fact that like over the last 7 years, he's just like, I have fucking nothing. There's like, I can't go home. My planet's probably
7 years to them is like.
I have like 3 Autobots that are still alive. I don't know if any other Autobots are alive. Cliffjumper got straight up cut in half, and the other, like in the last one, it like I'm sure he's just like it just kind of reflected on like.
It definitely did, and I think it's important to recognize this stage in his character development, because if it is going to link back with Michael Bay's series, Optimus Prime just had an innate in the Michael Bay series. Optimus Prime had this like innate love for humans, and this innate like he just kind of like accepted them already and trusted them already, which. It didn't feel awkward at all or anything, you know, but he was very
true. But it wasn't just for humans. So this is why I don't believe that this is connected at all, because a lot of the information that happens in the Michael Bay movies completely conflicts anything that is trying to be connected in this movie. Because Optimus doesn't just like love humans whenever they first arrive in those movies. He just has an understanding and respect for other life forms in general.
Right.
And which obviously one of them happened to be humans. But he doesn't want to, like, the Autobots in those movies don't want to, like, destroy anything, because this is not their world.
Right.
They understand that this is Earth, a completely different planet, and they just happen to be stranded here. And they realize that there's many different intelligent life forms here, and they just try to respect that. It's not just like this blind fucking loved for, oh, yes, humans, thank you.
No, I think you're right. And I agree that the new producer, Belda Vonovich, or whatever his name is, I totally butchered that. But that's pretty bad.
Name. It's a long name.
I just made something up in my head. But the new like leader of this trilogy is going to have a really tough time connecting this trilogy with Michael Bay's series. Really tough time. And it's because of things like that I 100% agree with you.
It's even going to be harder when they introduce the fucking G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck are they? The whole fucking Michael Bay movie.
To my point, saying, like this just fucked, bro. Like I'm excited.
There is a possibility that they don't actually team up, and it turns into a G.I. Joe versus the Transformers kind of thing, because that has happened where they have like fought in the past where the G.I. Joes are at war against the.
Of course,
Autobots,
it's fucking happened.
Like
There's a bunch of alien fucking robots,
right?
And we're humans. We're afraid of anything. So it could be that
like that's actually what happens, and that's why they're not in the movies, because they actually fought each other, and they're like, "Fuck you," and don't get along.
But see, I don't need that either, because then that just paints G.I. Joes in a bad light.
Right.
I already had that in a bunch of shitty fucking G.I. Joe movies. I don't want that again.
Yeah. But they don't. I mean, like I said, that's just me being like, well, that's happened before, so they could probably do that. They haven't said exactly what they're going to do.
I know they can do whatever they want, but
yeah,
I don't know about this one. At the end of the day, it's gonna be a tough time. It's gonna be a tough time connecting it. To my point, I just think that if they end up successfully connecting everything, the fact that Optimus Prime's character was written the way it was written in this movie is going to be a huge help in the eventual connection to everything. So, and I liked that it was different. I liked that Optimus Prime was just a little different than what we know him to be. So,
I mean, he was still pretty brutal. I mean, he was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna rip his head off. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, God damn.
He only does that once.
Yeah. I mean, he did rip his head out of. I mean, he straight up just tore his spine out. That was pretty.
Yeah, but he's done a lot more than the other movies, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he told what is his name? Prime
Scourge.
The other Prime that he fights
from Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, where he's like, "Give me your face."
Yeah, I fucking
rips his
love
face
that,
off.
Dude.
Yeah. No,
he's still cool.
So, yeah,
it was cool to see.
Optimus Prime is still fucking badass. Optimus Prime's still awesome.
He did.
I mean, he fucking slapped.
I mean, I don't like that. Like in this movie, I like that the Terracons and stuff were beefed up in this one. But in order to do that, they fucking nerf the Autobots in this, and they kind of
it did seem like the Terracons just took no damage whatsoever the entire time
until
except for
the end
battle.
of the movie.
Yeah.
And
I didn't really understand that.
It's just power
scaling. I also want to preface this with like, I know I'm like pointing out all these things that I didn't like or that are flaws to me and all this stuff, but I still fucking love this movie and it's still a 10 out of 10. And I'm probably gonna watch it like a million times. I don't care. It was amazing, but
it's still awesome.
There's still like I still love it even though it's extremely flawed. And they did say in the movie that when Airazor is explaining who the Terracons are, and he's like,
yeah, they're like empowered.
Unicron has imbued him with dark energon.
I know space magic.
Right. Yeah. So he's imbued with dark energon, and she's like, and it makes him virtually like invincible.
Near invincible. Yeah.
Near invincible to any damage. And I was like, okay. So what's the weakness? And they never bring it up. They never say Kryptonite. Like what's his weakness.
I bet you it's just regular energon. I bet you the blast of energon that there was is what like brought down his.
Well,
they don't explain that though, and you can't. I know. You don't see that visually. He just like it just ends up that
sure
he does
that's it.
He gets
that's just my speculation
somehow.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, as far as Unicron, right?
Yeah,
he gains power by fucking just chomping on everything and demolishing it and absorbing its energy, gives them the energy for power. You just do the same thing, but you give them too much power and they explode.
That's some space magic.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that at the end of the movie I was just like, oh, he just killed him. Like it was kind of just like, why didn't you do that?
Yeah, it was just like a normal, 2 hours ago. Normal,
yeah, it was a normal kill.
He kicked off his fucking mask, all right?
Yeah, maybe true. That was it. I don't know.
It was the mask.
This is how they connect the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a completely different mask, but you know.
Well, I'm gonna be pretty surprised if it's like Transformers G.I. Joe, goddamn.
Please don't do that. All right. You can leave that shit how it was in whatever fucking comic that came out in what you said 2016. Yeah,
so it started in 2016 and then it ended in 2018, where like.
So it only ran for 2 years. Must be a reason for it. Don't fucking do it.
Well, that was their last team up. Where before that it was like an ongoing thing, and then from 2016 to 2018 was like the big finale
culmination of
where all of them came together. Right, yeah, it was the end game where they all came together and fought Unicron, defeated it, and the 2018 one they fought. They actually fight him. He comes to Earth and. Yeah, it's like the fucking Micronauts and Action Man. I can't imagine that they're gonna be like Action Man.
That's not
join the Autobots. Like it's just gonna be fucking crazy. But it would
Action
be cool
Man.
if
rollouts.
If they made all these Hasbro franchises just fucking come together and
no, like, just stop, please.
Fucking fight. All,
you want to be like Lego movie combined with it'd be like Lego movie combined with Transformers.
Yeah. But I think
that's probably happening, bro.
Yeah, I think it could be cool if they just if they just had fun with it. You know what I mean? If they just if they didn't give a shit about fucking
the intricate, like the being realistic intricacies and all that.
Yeah, or just making making it like appeal to mass audience. Like just like make it super G.I. Joe, super Transformers. Just go fucking all in. Have fun with it.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but see, that's what I want.
It's not what's gonna happen.
Like,
boys.
It's cool that they're gonna be doing a collaboration.
There's too much money involved.
But I need them to just be themselves.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah. There's too much money involved, boys. It's not gonna happen.
Honestly,
I don't know. If they get someone that has enough heart that is just like, I love this shit, and I'm just gonna.
Unless Henry Cavill takes over production, it's not happening.
Bro, let's get Henry Cavill and G.I. Joe, bro.
But what if? I mean, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. Now that he's not Superman or The Witcher, it's not outside.
He's doing Warhammer 40K now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can't.
He can still do some. Because
he did. He was in.
Supposedly, he's doing a lot of Warhammer 40K. Like that's like.
Yeah, but he's done multiple things.
He's done. Actors can do. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think at the end of it all, there was a lot of really fun moments in the movie. It was a great time, and it raises a lot of questions.
Yep.
And There's a lot of things to look forward to. And I think for the most part, we're excited, but we're like cautiously optimistic as well.
Look, no matter how bad it turns out to be, you can always look forward. Yeah, you can always look forward to, that you're going to go watch a Transformers movie, and eventually during the movie, you're just going to see a fucking awesome Transformers fight where the giant robots fight each other, and you're going to be like, that was amazing.
True.
True.
However, now that Joes are going to be in this, that is not what I want to see in G.I. Joe.
Well, who knows? Maybe the next movie, it'll be very minimal, and they'll just have another after credit scene, and it'll be mostly just Transformers.
I don't know. We'll have to find out more.
That would be even more
as we go. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you guys enjoy it? Are you guys Transformers fans? I think even if you're not a Transformers fan, you can still appreciate giant metal robots fighting each other from outer space. Yep. It's still fun. And if you didn't enjoy it, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't enjoy it, you probably were just having a bad day. And there's just, you just need to like go rewatch it when you're not upset. Because how can you not enjoy watching gigantic robots from outer space fight each other? It's just,
there were 60-year-old ladies in the back row who were the entire time were like, Bumblebee, yeah. They were like they were like literally crying when Bumblebee died and like, no, screaming. It was like fucking crazy. They were going nuts the entire movie. I was like, okay, if these people can just have a fucking blast like this entire movie, then there's no way.
I mean, they're also in 40X, so.
Yeah, but it's just like, you can't not have fun at these movies. I mean, they're super fun. They're always fucking amazing.
Thank you guys for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for listening to our rants and our excited delirium when it came to something that is just transcendent above all realistic expectations, and it's Transformers. There's just something about it that can't be quantified, and it is what it is,
Yep.
So
last thing I want to say about this movie, when they played Arrival to Earth as they're running away from the explosion, I had an orgasm.
Oh yeah, the original theme song. Yeah, I was like, dude. Teacher was like, dude, they're playing the fucking theme song. I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
So good.
That shit was super badass.
That's the only connection to Michael Bay's movie.
So far. Yeah.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't exist now, it's never going to exist.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us. I know this was kind of a long episode, but
we love Transformers, and you should too.
It was fucking awesome.
And you should, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed the content. Just want to give you guys a shout out for all the love and support you guys have been showing us recently. We really appreciate it. We're going to continue to pump out content this week. We got 2 more episodes coming out, possibly a Squeaky Door episode.
Yep.
Right? Coming out soon.
For sure.
So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot of stuff coming to you guys. If there's anything that you guys want to see specific or anything that you guys want to share with us, please let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media links as well as the other shows here on Anykind Media. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Like this channel, there's more to us than meets the eye.
Roll out.
Maximize.
Maximize. Hell yeah, brother.